Good morning and welcome back to day 91 of our 365 Bible studies. At the moment we are looking at the early monarchy in the Old Testament, the period between Saul and Solomon, and today we look at an important thing that we need to learn, which is about how obedience is better than sacrifice. The first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verses 20 to 26. Saul said to Samuel, "But I did obey Yahweh. I went out as he told me and captured King Agag. I killed all the people of Amalek. But my people didn't kill the prize sheep and cattle they took. Instead, they brought them here to Gilgal to offer as a sacrifice to Yahweh your God." Samuel replied, "Do you imagine that Yahweh enjoys burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as he likes people obeying what he says? Look, obedience is better than sacrifice. Paying attention is better than offering up the fat of rams. Rebelling against him is as bad as witchcraft. Your arrogance is as awful as idolatry. You rejected Yahweh's command, and now he rejects you as king." Saul said, "Agreed. I have sinned. I disobeyed Yahweh's command and your instructions. I was afraid of my soldiers and did what they wanted. But I'm begging you now, forgive my sin and accompany me so that we can worship Yahweh together." Samuel answered, "I don't want to go back with you because you rejected Yahweh's command, and he has rejected you as Israel's king." Looking back over the centuries and millennia, we don't find it hard to accept that acts of worship on their own are not as valuable as good behavior. Good behavior results from considering God's will and the welfare of neighbors, family, friends, the nation, and the world. Where we part company with the primitive worldview depicted here is in our consideration of God's nature and his will. Samuel had persuaded Saul it was God's command that Israel's old enemy, the people of Amalek, should be subjected to genocide and all their property consumed, condemned to complete destruction. Saul had done most of what Samuel wanted, but he was in awe of the army and he gave in to them. They had captured and not killed King Agag, and they had kept the prize livestock, which Saul alleged he wanted to sacrifice to Yahweh. It is uncomfortable to us to see Saul squirming in front of Samuel and seeking forgiveness and reconciliation in vain. This is definitely not the God we believe in now, but some right-wing aberration. Samuel, later in the chapter, has King Agag brought to him, and as the King James Bible of 1611 memorably put it, Samuel hewed Agag to pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. Israel still had a long way to go to grow out of racism, human sacrifice, and many other primitive attitudes. But sadly, these aberrations are still with us in today's societies. It is so hard for humans to grow out of these attitudes and to accept the true nature of God as creative, loving, and forgiving of the whole human race. Tomorrow, we see Samuel, still on the scene, choosing David as Saul's successor. See you tomorrow.